Hello there, you are welcome to New Focus Approach to Mathematics Basic 7. This is revised edition. In this video, we want to look at how to round off numbers up or down to the nearest hundred thousands, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, and tens. Right. So that is what we want to do. And remember, this particular lesson is in page 28 of your textbook. I know you can pronounce this number, or you can say this number: 385,674. 385,674. And I'm sure you remember your place value. Your place value for the number 4 here. So this is your unit or your ones. You remember that? Okay, so here we have 4 ones. And then this is your tens. We have our hundreds. We have our thousands. We have the 10,000. Do you remember 10,000? Okay. And then we have our 100,000. So we are going to use these place values, okay, to round off numbers to the nearest tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, and 100,000. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, you want to round off a number 78 to the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. In this case, we can decide to go up or down. We can round up to the 10 or up to the tens. We also know that in terms of tens, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That's at the tens. Before you get to hundreds, you have 100, 200, 300, 400, and so on and so forth. So for a 10, 78 lies between 70 and 80. These are the two tens that 78 lies between. And so if you look at 78, from 75, we have 76 here, 77, 78, okay, and 79, 80. And you can see that 78 is close to 80 as a 10 than to 70 as another 10. And so when we say round up, then it means this is more closer to 80. So we can round up this number to the nearest 10 as 80. Because when you say tens, they want to see 10, a number 0. If it's 100, we want to see a number 00. If it is 1,000, we want to see a number 000 in that order. And so if I say run this number down, then it means I'm going to run it to 70. But then to the nearest whole number, we always run up when the number is 5 and above. I mean, the ones digit is 5 and above. So here, because the 8 is 5 and above, we can run it to 80. And if it were to be 74, and we have to run it to the nearest 10, because it is 74 and the unit digit is 4, which is less than 5, we'll run it down to 70. So running it down to 70 will give us 70. Okay, so 74 to the nearest 10 in running down will be 70. What if it is in between? What if it's in between 70 and then 80? That is 75. Now, in most cases, if you are asked to round off 75 to the nearest 10, because the unit digit is 5, okay, we run it up. So 75 can be written as 80 to the nearest 10. If you decide to run it down, then it will be 70 to the nearest 10. But in most cases, they will just give you the open question like, round off this number to the nearest 10. And so we'll say it is 80. I hope it's clear. Good. Now, let's look at a very huge question like this. Running off 7,646,655 to the given place values that we have here. Now, we are going to do this. We are going to consider running down and running up, okay, of these numbers, okay. Then in our next video, we'll look at specific running off numbers to the nearest whole number. So with this one, the first one, we have this huge number. We want to run it to the nearest 10. And because the nearest 10, our consideration is going to be the first two values. but then we'll look at the first value, which is the unit value. And because we are saying running up, then to the nearest 10, remember tens, we come to 10, 20, 30. So the nearest 10 up will be 60. So this number will be 7, 6, 4, 6. Okay, 6, then 0. 6, 0. So it will sound like this. It will sound 7,646,660. That is how it's going to be. Okay. Then if you run it down, then it's going to be 7,646,650, because this one will not go up, it will go down, so it will be 650. Now, what if we are dealing with the nearest 100? The nearest 100. Okay, with the nearest 100, our consideration is going to be in hundreds, and in hundreds we know it is either 100 like this, 200, 300, 400. That's the hundreds. So either this number is going to be 600 or 700, but because we are running it up, we'll say 700. So the answer becomes 7,646,700. Then when we are to come down, if it's not 700, then when it comes down, it's going to come down at 600. And so 7,646,600. Good. Now let's look at it in terms of thousands. So if you talk of thousands, they are talking about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and so on. So we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Those are the thousands. So when you come here, the thousands start like this. This is where we see our thousands. So either we say 6,655. So to the nearest thousands, and we are going up, then it means this must go to 7,000. Okay, and when we are coming down, it will come down as 6,000. So our answer becomes 7,647,000, or going down will be 7,646,000. I hope it's clear. Okay, can you guess what will happen to the next? That is running the number to the nearest 10,000. What do you think could be the value here? Right. I'm sure you had your answer correct. Okay, so we are talking about 10,000, and 10,000 can be picked from here. This way we can see our 10,000, because in pronouncing only this part of the number, you will say 46,655. 46,655. So we're talking about 10,000s. 10,000 comes like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and so on. So if you say 46,000, then we are dealing with the 10,000 from that point. And so when you are moving it up, then from 46,000 to the nearest 10,000 will be 50,000. Do you get it? So that will be 50,000 from here. And when we are keeping it down, then it will come down as 40,000 instead. Okay, so our answer to this question is going to be 7,650,000. That is going up again, and coming down will be 7,640,000. Then that becomes our answer for this, right? Okay, then the final one, what do we say? Okay, so again, we're talking about 100,000s, and our 100,000s comes from here. Okay, so let me raise this. So our 100,000 comes from here. So, and then we can say 646,000. So that becomes our 100,000. And to run it up over there is going to give us 7,700,000. And so when we are coming down, it becomes 7,600,000. Hope is clear. Good. All right. Before we end this video, try to get answers to the following. We have 374,655 to the given place values. If you have to run this number to the nearest 10, what will be the answer? Good. So we are going to have 374,660 because when we run it to the nearest 10, tens we said 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So this is 55. And to the nearest 10 up will be 60. So that's why we have 60 here. So the nearest 10 down will be 50. So we get it that. Then when we say to the nearest 100, we are taking the whole of this. So 600 or 500 or 200, or I mean, those are the hundreds. And so if I say 655 and I'm going up, I'll go to 700. Okay, so, and when I'm coming down, I will say 600. Then if I move to the next step, which is 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, those are the thousands, I'll go up as 5,000. So I'll get 375,000, or coming down 374,000. Good. Then again, if I go to the 10,000s, which and I include this part, okay, and I include that part, that means this part, then it will be 74,000. Okay, so 74,000, I'm talking about thousands. I can either say 70,000 or 80,000 or 60,000, right? But then because I'm moving it up, I'll go to 380,000. You get it? 380,000. Then when I'm coming down, I'll come down as 370,000. Then the final one, the whole of this now is our bone of contention now. And we are running that to the 100,000s. And remember, we mentioned this number as 374,000. We are in the 100,000s. 374,000. So to the run to the nearest 100,000 up will give us, so from 300 we go to 400. So it will be 400,000. And when we are coming down, we'll come down to 300,000. All right, I'm sure this video has been very helpful to you to understand the concept over here. Go ahead and solve more questions. We'll come back again to continue this video. Thanks so much for choosing new approach to mathematics. See you.